gentlemen, welcome out to For the Record Podcast.
Episode 10.
We finally made it.
Yes.
Yay.
That's crazy.
Episode X.
X. Oh.
Like all the phone companies did. It's awkward though. Like
What?
10 episodes. You know what I mean?
10
like,
episodes.
Hey, that's an
That's
cool.
It's a milestone.
there's no half. Stop with that.
There's totally a half.
She's
This
doing
last-
the iPhone.
This last episode was 9, part 1.
Right, so there's another
it's
one.
only half.
There's another one coming out.
Yeah, but it's not out yet, so it's half. True story.
Soon to be
Alright.
10.
Soon to be 10.
One or the other. Well, ladies and gentlemen, check out our new edition.
Yes.
We finally.
It's beautiful,
we stepped up our game.
Yeah, we did.
and I steamed it.
They're not going to
Took
see
forever.
it. They're not going to see it.
Maybe they might see a few crinkles here and there.
Well, if you see the crinkles, don't call them out, because I steamed it.
Stanley Steam.
yeah. For real. We should have just called them.
But we finally upgraded. We gotta do a little something, man. We
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
get these views up, these likes up.
Yes.
Make sure to smash
Yes.
that like button.
Yes.
Give us a thumbs up.
Smash that.
Holla. Smash that.
Oh.
Flow, smash that. I took your role. I sang.
No.
Temptations in the building.
What?
What?
I'm a
Yeah,
little
man, we need-
champagne bottle pop. I'm going to take you to the top.
Take it away. Take it away.
No, stop. It's not cute when you do it.
Ron, stop.
Oh my God.
God damn it,
Ronnie.
Ursula.
What about the TP on my shoe?
Anywho.
Sorry.
We're gonna freestyle this one today. We're missing again our fourth unit.
Hey.
So let's see what we got today.
Let's see where we go. I'd like to start with ACB.
Amy
ACB.
Coney Barrett.
I like that one better than
she's-
RGB.
Yeah. RGB. Red, green. Every time.
Red,
Is that not her name?
That's like the LEDs.
The
The
LED.
LEDs are red,
Yeah.
green,
Every
and
time
blue.
I think of that, yeah. But anyway, she's going to the Supreme Court. Bitches, you don't gotta like it, but go
Hell
suck a
yeah.
fat one.
Oh yeah.
What?
Dude, I just can't believe the Dems like threw that big of a shit fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you don't have to like it, right? You can bitch and cry and whine, but at least show up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show up. You know what I mean?
Because
But
they
then
they
don't
cried
go-
about not having been part of the process.
just gonna
well, you
say
chose
that.
not to go.
Yeah.
Well, and I liked the.
You didn't show up for work this morning, so
No shit.
guess
I want
what?
my tax money
You don't
back.
gotta
Fucking ain't
vote
right. That's
for
what I'm
real.
talking about. They got paid to boycott. When do we get paid?
Never.
If anybody in a union, you just stop getting
Seriously,
paid. If they go
right?
on strike,
Yep.
these fucks just said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna chill out here, cry like little bitches because we didn't get our way." And yeah, we'll see y'all when we pack the courts later.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty much what we got. But I like the way Lindsey Graham put it, because in the Democrat speech they were talking about how the Republicans broke the rules because there's supposed to be two members of the minority in there in order to push her forward, right?
Okay.
But Lindsey Graham was like, well, we didn't break the rules. What they did was the majority, because they were there, the majority ruled to overrule that rule.
Okay.
Because only
like
because
it.
well, it's crazy though, because only because the Democrats were given the option. It's not like they said, hey, you know what? Half of y'all are like infested with or infected with COVID, right?
Right.
So we're gonna go through without y'all anyway. No. It's not how this happened. They said, hey, look, we're having the hearings. Now we're gonna vote. We're gonna do the vote to put it to the floor to confirm her. Yeah, y'all are welcome to come. And they decided not to go. So,
Yeah.
dude, if you're given the option to go and you didn't go,
That's
Well,
on
that's
you.
on you.
yeah, you can go cry me
You
a
all
river.
called in sick to work that day. I'm sorry you didn't get a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it was pretty
Like-
funny. I like Lindsey Graham sometimes. He's
Sounds
kind of
fun.
annoying sometimes, but I don't know. I think I'm kind of looking forward to see what she brings to the table as far as
Well, she brings exactly what she's hired to do.
yeah, no, straight up.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about it.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying. So like I'm looking forward to like some of the cases that are gonna come up to the Supreme Court for constitutionality and see,
Right.
you know what I mean? If she, because dude, just because she says, you know what I, and her track record has been, you know, she's
It's been clean.
yeah, straight up. But she's the that also that she's a textualist, she's a constitutionalist, right? Like I get that, but I mean, dude, anything can change. You know what I mean? It doesn't always mean this is gonna be. She's gonna be like exactly what she says she's gonna be. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
It's just nice to have some young blood in there. Because she's not that old.
Let's see, be like what's her name? Good old Gums.
Ew. I hate it when you do that. It's so gross.
She's 48. Goddamn, she's the same age as
Wow.
Eminem.
Oh, wow.
And the same amount of history.
Yeah.
So, like, who's the youngest one on
Her.
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Yeah, I can almost guarantee.
in the
Yeah.
Supreme Court?
I'm assuming she's probably the youngest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, it's about time they started getting some young blood in there. Like, I swear there should be, like, a term limit on how long you can hold that position. Like, it shouldn't be a...
How long should the term limits be?
I think that... I don't know. I couldn't exactly put, like, a time frame on because I haven't thought about it. But to me, it's like, I guess the lady that was there before her, like, the lady couldn't even stay awake during the hearings. Like, you are...
Well, the lady that was there before her is dead.
Well, no, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be a till death do us part, like being on the Supreme Court, because everything's changing, right? Like, look at it. Like, me and Hans were talking the other day. Like, he was talking about his phone, but he was talking about how we went from having a cell phone that you had to pay for minutes on to this freaking this computer that you have in your hand that you can look everything up on. Right? Like, we tell the kids that all the time. Like, if I had YouTube back in the day, or if I had Google back in the day, like, Google the questions that are on that the teachers are asking you. I'm sure you're gonna find a problem like it,
You'll
or the
find the
exact
actual
problem.
test
Yes.
online.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, because it has changed so drastically in these last 15 years,
Right.
why is that lady still in office? Like, they're not really moving with the times, because she was born so long ago that it's like, oh no, this is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be. No, like, you need the fresh blood in there.
We do, but I also think there's an argument to, like, especially for, like, the Supreme Court or, like, people that really study the Constitution, right? I feel like if we're gonna put limits on them, it should be like any other job. They retire at 65,
Yeah.
so it's not like extremely old, right? Like
Right.
RGB, where I guess she had
RGB?
cancer.
Is that like her real name? Or?
Ruth RGB.
Isn't it
yeah.
RBG?
RBG, same thing. Who cares?
But I got her
Ruth Bader
RGB.
Ginsburg.
Yeah,
So
RBG.
I got her RGB.
Yeah, I call her RGB too. Well,
It's
whatever.
just easier. It makes sense.
But anyway, like, I mean, I guess she was dealing with cancer, but Jesus Christ, like, she could barely move. Like, that
Yeah.
should, again, that's like Joe Biden. To me, that's borderline elderly abuse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't let this fool walk around stumbling and talking, nonsense. I mean, don't get me wrong, Trump ain't no better. He spits some nonsense too.
Yeah, he
but at
does.
the same time, he's just over retirement age. I don't know how old Biden is. Isn't he like
I think,
102?
Like 79?
Can't be no
Something
more
like
than
that.
113.
Trump was what, 77?
He's 74.
74? I think Biden was
Trump
70.
is 74?
Yeah,
77.
Biden is 77 years old.
Okay, it was 77.
1942. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my goodness.
That dude should just hang it up, bro. I like the speech. I think you sent it to us on the
He was old when I was born.
77.
No, think about it. If he was born in 42, that would have put him at 40 years later when I was born in
I know.
85. Like, that's
Yeah.
40 years old already.
Hey, calm down with that. I'm
Like,
about
he's
40 is the
already
new old?
I know. I'm 38, 36. I'm like, I'm coming up.
Damn.
God
scare
damn it.
me.
I was going somewhere.
I think
and don't
once you
even
get to
remember now.
35, you're no longer young. You're old after 35.
Shit, I was old at 30.
Don't scare me, man. I'm turning 30 in 2 months.
30.
Oh, hell. I'll be
joining the-
35 next month.
Damn. But no,
Whoa.
Sorry.
Corona.
Hey, we're not Rogan status. We can't test people before.
Bet. Let me get my little kit right here.
Turn-
I
from-
got a
Hey.
Somerset. I go get tested in Somerset.
Turns out, I guess that doesn't really make a difference, right?
Yeah.
That dude had all the money in the world, and he's testing every day, 5 times a day, and his producers.
Well, they
still
have their
got
own
it.
lives, outside of.
Well, of
work, too.
course, but that's kind of the whole point behind all this, right? Like, touching on the Joe Rogan thing. Now he's shut down, right, for 10 to 14 days, whatever it is, right? he gets to go by Texas standards, not by California, where they put somebody in goddamn
California.
quarantine for 2 months. You know, we're freaking out about sending kids to school, and everybody's crying about school. But these same people will go out and go to like McDonald's and go get drive-through, or go here and go there. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel attacked.
you got to get, you got to go get groceries. Like, you're exposing yourself one way or another. I
Ooh.
get minimalizing that exposure, but
not everybody's doing that.
Nah.
Like it's not so. It's you can't be scared of getting this virus and being like, oh, I'm not gonna send my kid back to school, you know, just in case they get this virus. But you know what? All right, bye, kids. I'm gonna go hang out with your aunt this weekend. We're gonna go
Right.
get fucking drunk. Like, you're still around other people, regardless of if it's family or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're still around other people. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we are still around
Right.
each other, you know?
Oh, come
If
on,
one
man.
Of us, stupid. If one of us has it, if you have it, like, you're in the medical field. So if you have it, then we're getting it. If we have it, then
we
you're
go down as
getting
a
it.
family. Goddammit.
Yeah. So I can't truthfully be scared of sending my kids back to school, knowing that
Right.
every Thursday we put ourselves in this situation.
Right.
Or like at work, like I go to work and I work around other people at work. He goes to work and he works around other people at work.
I got
Like,
Karen the other day at work.
Oh hell.
For the nose out.
Yeah, I had the chin diapers, what they called it on
the South Park?
It's a chin diaper.
Chin diaper.
I really need to watch it.
But dude, I like today though. My boss went out, dude, and I mean he was slanging some cases, dude, sweating up a storm. Like, dude, it's not easy, man. A lot of people that are like, oh, just wear the mask, blah blah blah. Come on, do my job. And there's other jobs, right? Like, go work
And
some
you're wearing
construction.
like the just a regular cloth mask, right?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
have the company has one. It's
Right.
it's
But it's just like a simple cloth
Yeah.
mask.
yeah, it's cloth
that's
and
all
it's
it
got
is.
Try
the,
wearing an N95. Good luck.
No.
You're
Well, I
not
know,
making
but
it.
you
I
don't
walk
run
from
and do
my-
cases like you're not throwing 1,000 cases of booze either.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wear an N95 and do that.
Nah, I'm cool.
Nah.
It's
See,
good
and
math.
I cut a
walk-
hole in it.
I walked from my desk to the warehouse, which is probably like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards away. And it's outside. And I'm get there and I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, no, I'm okay to not to.
Yeah, I don't know,
Oh.
man, but it was
I
funny. The
can't.
dude got all mad. Well, seeing like in my defense, at least I had it on my face, right? I had my mouth covered. The other guy that was in the
Which
store,
does nothing for you.
it doesn't matter.
It goes through your nose.
It goes anywhere it wants to.
Well, the irony is they want to get within 6 feet to tell you to put your mask on.
Well, no, see, that's what I'm saying. So this dude carried me. He went to the
He canned you.
He canned me.
He can.
Well,
It's a
Whoa,
can.
sounds a little explicit, sir.
it's
Well,
Ken
this
and
is,
Karen.
Children watch this show, sir.
This is episode 10. Episode X.
X.
But no, so this dude went and bitched it. Me and the competitor, we were talking in the store, and homeboy didn't. That dude just had the mask hanging from his ear,
Uh-huh.
and I just told him, I said it out loud. I'm like, dude, you don't sign my check. This store don't sign my check. Like, you got somebody to talk to. Call my company, fool. Like, I'm A-okay, man, because I'll tell any of them people too, man. You know, I try my best, man. But again, you come out and sling cases with me. Let's go toe to toe. And that's it. I'm inside, right? I can just imagine people that have like, I'm thinking like electricians, right? Where they're in a building where they're putting power there, so there's no AC, there's no, but they got to be distanced and have that stupid mask
Yeah.
on while the carpenters for the next floor or whatever they're like. I don't know. I just couldn't imagine being in the business that I'm in. It sucks, and I'm in the AC.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. Like, the guy that I work with, he's an AV tech, right? They're at the school, so he deals with all the cameras and stuff. Well, he called me the other day, and he was all out of breath, and I'm like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you?
Mr. Happy Time.
No, stupid. Well, then today I go take him a camera that he's replacing, and I see the ladder and where he's at. He's replacing the camera outside of the school, right next to the gym, as you're walking in to the campus, the main high school.
I don't know. Those cameras weren't there when I was a kid.
Well, anyways, so he's replacing that camera right there. Well, he's up this ladder that's at least 15, 20 feet tall, and he's inside all of the like he has to get to all the watering chinga, the wiring that's inside the building, that goes inside the building, right? So he's in this crawl space that's probably like 2 feet wide inside the building, and it's freaking hot as balls outside. It's humid as fuck. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, he's in there. Like,
but he has to wear a mask the entire time.
who's there watching him?
He has to. The
Who's
cameras.
there? Nah, he's the AV guy. Cut him off.
I'm watching him.
Creeper. Yes, Karen.
No, the cameras are watching him
Nah.
like the entire time. Like he has to have a mask on.
He's the
students
AV
come
guy.
out-
You're gonna tell me he can't just people? Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, and all of a sudden,
Allegedly.
okay, you can say that. I'm not. And there's cameras that just I don't know what happened, sir. They weren't working. The Pentagon got hit by a plane, and they saw like this much of the plane. And this dude can't get past some cameras at the high school. That's badass. Hey, I feel safe that my kids are in the
Speaking
school
of
there.
cameras, Lubin Tubin,
Lubin Tubin.
lawyer, was on a CNN Zoom call.
I feel really violated right
I saw
now.
that on
What?
So a
I don't
lawyer
know
was
what
on a Zoom call meeting with a bunch of other people from CNN. I guess they were discussing some topics, and it turns out they were going to go on a break. So he kind of angles his camera downwards, assuming that it was off. Turns in his office chair and yanks one off
Ew.
on camera.
On camera.
On camera.
Oh my god.
I was like, what is that?
That's not me.
But yeah, he got busted. No, well, I mean, they didn't make a deal out of it, right? But he turned on the camera like everything was all legit. When they go back to the meeting, everybody's like, "This is pretty awkward."
I'm
Oh,
dead.
so we noticed you didn't wash your hands.
Ew. He's all fucking.
Órale.
Was that the day that I was gonna shoot that buck?
No, that was a different funeral.
Ah.
You're gonna shoot a buck at a funeral?
But no, she was here.
I go, we need some context.
I took off.
Pull out 30-06 in the middle of a funeral, just bah!
I took off to
You took the kids
to
to
go.
school.
Yeah, take the kids.
Yeah.
And Crystal was like, she just happened to be home, right, getting ready or whatever.
He was bringing me tacos. I told him stop and get tacos.
She walk out the back door, and all of a sudden there's a deer there, and she's like, she calls me and. I have this deer in my scope. Should I take him out? I'm like, no, we got to go to a funeral.
It was a beautiful buck.
Oh, 'cause you have to field strip
eight-pointer,
it.
Yeah, you have to do it
yes.
ASAP.
Yeah.
And it was nice and cool outside. So I was like, dude, so long as we like cut it open and take all the guts out, like we should be good.
Yeah.
Right? But like the thing about it was what had happened was I walked out to smoke a cigarette and I saw it and I was like, holy shit. And I walked in and grabbed the gun and I come back out and he's still standing there. And I was trying to be super quiet. You know how when you're trying to be quiet, like you make all the noise in the world?
Yeah.
Right? Well, then my AC kicks on and it's all boom. And he's just kind of like looks at me and I like stand still and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So he looks away and I put my scope on him and I'm like, shit, man, I want to take out this buck. Like everyone around here has been after that buck.
Right.
Well, what had happened is my landlord has 19 acres of land behind us. If it was on her property, it would have been no problem, but it was right on the other side of the fence into someone else's property. And I was like, can I really shoot this buck, drag it over to this side of the property? Yeah, no, not gonna happen. I was like, and then string it up and field strip, at least like gut it before we go to this funeral. Like,
Stupid question, but can you just stuff a bag of ice in it? Like if you like clear it out?
I don't think so. I think the because like that would keep the immediate meat on it. You know what I mean? But like everything surrounding it because of all the fur. Like
okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I've never done it. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't
I
advise
feel,
it.
yeah, I feel like
Especially if for a funeral, you're gonna be gone for at least 2-3 hours.
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, did you see this? Like 5 hours ago, October 22nd, FDA approves first treatment for COVID-19.
Well,
the
duh, because
remdesivir
election
or
day is
something
coming
like that?
over.
Yeah, yeah, whatever, however you say it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's pediatric patients 12 years of age and older, and weighing at least 40 kilograms, about 88 pounds. Again, like how many people would actually take it?
As far as the people I've talked to, it's about 60-40, and it's 40 against taking it. 60%.
Really?
Yeah.
60% said they take it. Like if they came up with a vaccine.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but it's like a first generation, right? Like you get the first generation of the fold, right? And it's gonna have its kinks, and then you're mad about it or whatever. Well, this is like the first generation
Well, there
of
was
its of
allegedly
the vaccine.
You just compared a vaccine that could potentially kill people
to a
but
5G phone.
that's what I'm saying.
No, it's like 100% true because like in order to get FDA approval, you only need so many percent.
yeah,
You
Of
only
it
need
to be-
30%.
You only need 3 positives.
That's
It doesn't
30%.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter how many tests you take, and it could be anywhere in there. It could be your first, your 100, and your whatever. Like it doesn't make. It doesn't matter how many. so
Or it
long
can
as you
be
get
like your
3.
first, second, and third, and then the rest of the 1,000.
It's just. It was just
are
funny
like
because you compare it to
negative.
a phone. The kinks in a phone, like I could always take the phone back. You're talking about a first generation of vaccine that could kill people.
Kill
You can't take that
Yeah.
back.
But remember, there was a Samsung that blew up in people's face.
There was.
Yeah, but nobody died.
Allegedly.
But did they
you
die?
But did you die?
I was the Note 7.
It was a
Sad
Note
time.
7.
Yeah. Allegedly, there was a trial version that they had did somewhere for the COVID test, and what do you call them? The people who do the trials. There's a name for
Guinea
it.
pigs. I mean,
Mice?
But yeah, allegedly they had passed. They were trying to determine if it was linked to the vaccination that they got. But yeah, that person passed.
It's kind of shitty when you think about it because, like, you're in a trial, right? You volunteer to go into this trial. They give you COVID, and then they give you a placebo. So either you're going to live or you're going to die.
well, I mean, but it's
Like-
the same thing as you saying you get a first generation vaccine.
seriously.
For either you're gonna live or
Like,
you're gonna
I get it. Well, I mean, a phone's not going to kill you.
Oh, I know.
Unless
Junior's on.
it's
Did
a
you
7.
just
Shout out to the Samsung S Note, whatever.
Note
the Note 7.
Aw.
R.I.P. No, but like I don't know, like that's gotta suck because, like when you're in a trial, right? Like everything is measured, right? So
Can you
how
confirm this?
how far? No, I can because. So I've attempted to do a clinical trial one
really?
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How much do they pay?
It depends on the trial.
Yeah, it depends on the trial. This trial that I was in, like, it's supposedly it was like really hard to get people to get through it because, like, none of your levels could be off. Your bilirubin levels couldn't be off. Like, nothing could be off. Everything had
You'd
to
have
be.
to be a healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of them where
Yeah.
like you have to have like a certain BMI. Like,
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff that. And then
couldn't
there's.
make it.
I mean, neither.
Yeah, I barely made it, and that's because I didn't eat all day.
You're all gonna pass out.
They're all, sir. They're all, sir.
I'm all
We don't have
weighing
12 people to
myself, I'm
carry
like,
you
whoa.
out.
You're all hypoglycemic.
It's
No,
okay.
but,
It's
like,
okay, sir. I'm good.
So like they measure everything, right? Like they take your blood like 3 times a day. They test your urine 3 times a day.
God
They
damn.
give you food and you have to eat everything that they give you. Like you have to eat all of it. And they measure like how long it took you to eat it and like they measure everything. Like when you go to take a shower, like how long you took in the shower, they measure all of that
What the
stuff.
hell?
Sounds
Yeah.
like a Democratic run. They
Yeah.
want to know everything.
They-
Bio button.
Yeah, for real. Like it's crazy. So when you think about it, right? So when they ran this trial, how much intervention did they offer? Like at what point did they step in and say, "Holy shit, we need to get you to a fucking hospital because you're about to die."
Yeah.
Like they legit let people die just to come up with maybe a vaccine.
Yeah.
Like maybe something that's gonna help, some kind of treatment. Like that's pretty shitty.
Most of them take years to develop, and then now we're making one. What has it been, like 8 months?
8 months, yeah, give or
7.
take.
7 months?
It's been 7 months. I've been counting.
Allah.
It's
Worth it.
It's ironic, right? I work in the medical field, and I don't really believe in much medicine. Like I don't take
Why
medicine.
would we?
I
I
take a Tylenol for a headache.
I like medicines that make me high.
Allah. It's called weed.
No, like actually, like hydrocodone. I like hydrocodone.
It's a narcotic.
I don't think I've ever had hydrocodone before.
No?
No.
I love hydrocodone.
I've taken Theraflu that put me on my ass for like
I
3
love
days.
Theraflu. So Theraflu to me is like Theraflu and a shot of whiskey and a shot of honey.
I don't think that's FDA approved.
That's but it helps me like with everything. Like when I get real bad, because every year I get real bad. sick for like a couple days, but the Theraflu is what.
You sound like every alcoholic that comes into the store. It's for my throat. It's like
my
it's,
throat.
it's a cataract. It's a cataract.
Like, what was your dad's? Your dad was his toothache.
Yeah, everything.
He needed the alcohol
It
for
was
his
for
toothache.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I throw a shot of whiskey in there and drink it all nice and warm. It's like a hottie tot. Is it hottie tot? Hottie toddy?
Yeah.
Hottie toddy.
I could deal with being sick. I hate headaches and migraines. I'm a crybaby when it comes to those.
And I'm opposite too.
I'll deal with sneezing and drip, post nasal drip and all that all day, but with the headache,
Lay off the cocaine.
off.
No. I can't, and I'm opposite of you. I can't deal with the headache. I'm sorry. I can deal with the headache and the migraine, but I can't deal with.
I think I have PTSD from the migraines because two of them put me in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
With the migraine.
Migraine.
I've never had them that bad.
And it wasn't one that's like a continuous, like throughout the day. It was one that got just triggered by the light.
By the Democrats.
Like I think my mom called me one day, and I just opened my phone, and the brightness of the phone just boom, instantly my head started throbbing beyond belief, and then maybe for like 10 minutes rolling around in the bed, I could not, like, it was bad.
Really?
And then my dad's like, well, I'm gonna just take you in. So like I think he had the radio just cracked a little bit, like maybe on volume 1 or 2, and that was just hurting. And every little bump, every little any sound, it was just bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
See, and I
kinda
get like
what-
that, but once I jump into bed and I turn off all the lights and I tell the kids shut the hell up, like, we're good.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even have like the AC on or anything. Like, everything has to be off when that happens.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember how painful those were.
Anyway, speaking of Democrats being triggered and and running shit, man, did you see now that I know of or that I saw and read in the article, the second time Judge Nelson Wolff has been caught without his mask?
Really? I saw the first one. Was at a store, right? At a Sam's or something?
I didn't
like
get to
that?
see this one. He was at a restaurant.
Okay.
And I didn't see what the other one was, but I've only heard of two. But it's still kind of like
Like, you walked into the restaurant?
no. He
with
was
that?
in the restaurant already. His excuse was he was at the restaurant at the table. He got a phone call and he walked away around the corner. And as he was rounding the corner back to come back to the table, somebody caught him and took a picture of him. And he was like, "Well,
Yeah.
people forget. It's just this is what it is." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you're a Democrat.
No,
it's
not
cool to
after
forget."
7 months of being told that you have to wear a
Well,
mask
and by
everywhere you
his
go.
tyrannical ass, right? And he's talking like they interviewed a restaurant owner because restaurants are getting fined,
Right.
And so he's like, well, there's a difference between forgetting and making a mistake and just blatantly not wanting or refusing to wear a mask. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, the burden of proof is on you, right?
Yeah.
I can say all day long, damn, I forgot my mask. I don't have to prove to anybody that I intentionally.
Well, so like, it's like the other day we went to go eat at Luby's. Shout out Luby's. We went to go eat at Luby's, right? I got up to go to the restroom, and I got up and I walked off, and my mask stayed on the desk. Like, I got like, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way to the restroom, and I turned around and I came all the way back to grab my mask so that I could put it on and then go back to the restroom. Like, I'm sorry, it's a matter of, yeah, I forgot it, but I went back to go get it. Like.
Well, and I know, and again, this dude's like damn near 80 years old, so like I'm sure he'd forget his teeth if they weren't in his mind. I don't even know that he
So
does
his
that.
idea of forgetting and my idea of forgetting are completely
Yeah, way different. Way
It's like the
different.
virus in a phone.
Like, I never wanted to vote more in my life than this year.
That's what I did.
But November. But I didn't know you had to register to vote, so I showed up and I voted.
You probably did it when you got
Your
your
driver's
driver's
license.
license or your ID.
No, it was my ID. That's what he said. That he grew up being liberal, and then as he grew up, like, he realized that
He
he
had
was
more in common.
he had more in common
Yeah.
with Republicans than he did with
So
Democrats.
if you look at,
Like-
there's a whole thing on YouTube right now called the Walk Away Movement.
Oh yeah.
And it's a bunch of Democrats who are giving their testimonies about why they are leaving the left.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them say the same thing. I literally just grew up thinking I was Democrat.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Well,
Sorry.
because that's what they teach you in school,
They think
right?
Republicans are racist, old white people that are just, they want to shut down everybody, don't want nothing to do with you as an individual who's low income. They just think that they could think less of you.
This is funny. Like I'm in real time, like in a conversation on Facebook. My buddy, one of my buddies who's from school. I guess now Americans finally know who really built cages. And then I told him, I was like, the sad part is like they still won't believe it, right? And then another buddy of mine from school posted this meme of Trump. Right now, I was like, oh, dude, I didn't know Jesse was a Democrat. And then there's people started commenting. We go back and forth, and it's just funny, dude, because like, I mean, I get it, right? If this works for you, it works for you, right? But this guy Jesse's like, look, guys, I work for a good company. If that did, I'm sorry, if that company did not have a union, I would not get free medical, eye vision, and dental paid for me, my wife, and my son. The problem is that's not free. Like, it's free to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Paid for by taxpayers.
Exactly.
But
So
somebody
like,
else is paying for it.
Yeah.
The company's paying for it. Or
Well,
the employees.
somebody, I mean-
or in the employees of that company are paying for it. Because those employees that aren't part of the union, I'm sorry, but you still have to pay something to support those people. So somebody is paying for that, even though he's not paying for it.
well, I know, but that's like I'm saying, that's the funny part about the whole thing, right? Is like, it's like I always say when I have this, and then I get not a argument, discussion, whatever. Like the Democratic Party completely, they're the party of give you what you want. You know what I mean? Not teach you what you need. Like they're like housing, food stamps, all that bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to pay for that shit.
Entitlement program.
Oh yeah, straight up. And so like, while some people see it as like, oh, well, I vote Democrat because they give me
Right.
what I want, so then you refuse to vote Republican because they're gonna
Right.
make you go get what you want instead of, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't work at a company that has a union, and if I don't have insurance, she's got insurance for the kids and her, but like,
Yeah.
if I wanted
No,
the
we
insurance,
don't have medical insurance on our kids.
oh well, either way,
We don't.
If
And
but if we wanted it, I just pay for it. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
like I get that it's super expensive, but that's part of the problem too. Is that
And even like the Democrats under Obamacare, they fined you for not having insurance.
right?
They
and
penalize
and
you.
that's the thing. Well, see, and I'm sure that's probably where most of this money's coming from, or it was, right? Because it's no longer a thing. But like now because the Democrats are pushing for universal health care, like they make it so that there's no competition.
Right.
So that you have to pay whatever primary insurance company, whoever, if it's Blue Cross Blue Shield and United, right?
Right.
I think those are
Or
two
Aetna.
United
insurance-
Healthcare.
Yeah.
think
So like
Aetna.
if they're the only two, right, then you're looking at Samsung and iPhone. They can charge you whatever they want.
Yep.
Right?
Premiums.
Premiums,
That.
exactly. But if they make if the Democrats were to get off of that boat, off of that
You can
single payer
seek
system,
private healthcare.
right, we could get private health care or at least open up the market so
to
that
something that you can afford, that you're okay paying for. When you look at financial freedom, right, people who are not in debt, right, to whether it's a car, housing, whatever debt, right? When you look at the taxation and what they're charging you for the healthcare, had you not have to pay those taxes to begin with, what you do with that money is on you, right? So if you don't save it, what you're saying is, well, I was irresponsible with my money, so you should have to pay for my health care.
Yeah.
You should have saved what you weren't paying in taxes anyways for your rainy day fund, right?
Right.
So that's on you. That's on the individual for not saving money.
Yeah.
A lot of people fear that if we go to like private health insurance, right? If you want to seek out private health care, a lot of people think that, oh, those prices are going to be so outrageous, I can't afford them, so I wish I had a plan, right? Here's the thing. When these companies who've started up from nothing, right, want to be a part of the program, if they're not bringing in customers, guess what happens? Their costs drop.
they have to be competitive.
Exactly.
Capitalism takes over. If your insurance is too expensive, then I'll go look somewhere else for it.
Right. And if
But-
everybody goes over there, guess what you're going to do?
Exactly.
Match their prices
Yup.
or offer more. So the market's going to prove whether it works or not. That's with any company. The problem with these corporations that are under government subsidize their failing structures, right? I believe, me personally, a business should be allowed to fail if that's not the market.
Yep.
If a market proves, the market's telling you, dude, your product is not worth it, then stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that goes for anything, everything, every single business out there, man. I don't, you know.
Because if your restaurant isn't selling good enough food for everybody to believe that it's good enough,
Yeah.
you should go under.
Yeah.
It's telling you, bro, your product isn't worth having.
Right.
Well,
Unless
it's
you
like-
got the money, the expendable money to throw away, right?
That too, but that's
You
your
know,
choice.
Yeah, that's your
Well,
choice.
that's why, like, talking about the whole Medicaid and food stamp thing, right? Like, I've told Hans before, like, I don't disagree with those programs. Like, I really don't. You know, having a kid so young and everything, I do not disagree with those programs. But I think there should be a time limit on it. I think it should be by the time your kids start school, you have, like, by the time your last kid starts school, you have a year to find a job and become self-sufficient.
Okay.
So by the time your kid is 6, your last kid is, so like WIC, right? WIC, you can only have a kid on the WIC program until they're 5 years old. After 5 years old, they cut you off. That's it. You no longer get WIC, right? So the same thing with food stamps, Medicaid, and all of that stuff. By the time your last kid is 6 years old,
Right.
you should have a job. You should be able, there's no reason for you to stay at home
Right.
and have to live off the government.
There is reason.
What?
Control. They incentivize people to stay home and do nothing, because then
But that's what I'm saying, like, that's my idea.
A lot of people say, well, it's you're doing a disservice to people that need help. Again, I don't disagree with the helping hand. I don't agree with giving them a hammock.
Exactly.
straight up. But
No,
again,
and I agree. Like, okay, so help them, right? Like, so okay, by the time your kid turns 6, you're out and you're finding a job, right? I don't care if you work at McDonald's making minimum wage,
Right.
right?
A lot of people
Okay,
are too
we're gonna
prideful.
we're gonna give you X amount of money, so long as you keep your job. I'm gonna give you X amount of money still in food stamps. I'm gonna let you be on Medicaid because you have a job. You're doing something. I'm gonna let you do that. At that
Do you
point.
think that still incentivizes people to do the very minimal?
of course, but that's exactly the way the system is set up. The power struggle can't happen, right? If it was as simple as, well, I'm going to incentivize you to go to work and do the bare minimum, right? The struggle begins where these programs begin, right?
Okay.
If we incentivize you, first of all, to just, if you get pregnant, stay home, right? Take care of your kids. We'll give you housing. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. In turn, you're voting this way every time, because then the incentive, right? If they tell you there's a time limit, right? Well, you're going to use that party, right, to get what you want. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, well, you're not going to help me no more. All right, cool. Maybe I'll go vote over here.
So they change their policy.
They change policy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there can never be a time limit, because the reason is the way it is because politicians.
That's what we're talking about. Like, we're talking about the people that we know now that are our age that have been living off of the system
Right.
for the last X amount of years. But these last 4 years, there is no incentive for them to vote red or to vote blue.
Well, the
Because-
incentive is always to vote blue.
But
because-
why?
because-
Trump never jeopardized that between them.
Because they can't, like, so, like, this is
he's
why.
never even said anything about jeopardizing that.
Because
to
he
them.
cannot. So because of our little system of checks and balances, he can't executive order that away, because it'll go to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Somebody will sue, it'll go to the Supreme Court. Now, with ACB in line, it's possible. It's possible for Trump or a Republican to come up with legislation, push it through, and then let it go to the court so that the Supreme Court can say, well, it's not unconstitutional. You're not guaranteed food stamps. You're not guaranteed this and that from the government. Like, the way everything has been set up for the longest time is what you're talking about. Like, going back, however long this program has been out, right? They don't go unchecked. Like, so you're saying, I'm saying, Republicans have been trying to pass, hey, we need to cut down this. We need to do that. We need to do this. Democrats, on the other hand, start going to the constituents, to the people, and start saying, hey, look, if you don't vote blue this time around, you kiss all that stuff goodbye. Usually when we have 8 years of a Democratic president, or even 4 years, because it's simple. Like, right now that I think that's their play right now, right? Like with abortion and this other stuff, right? they're fear mongering everybody.
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, that,
They're
right.
fear mongering that they're going to remove what is it called? Pre-existing conditions.
Right. Under the ACA.
And the Republicans are like, dude, we never said that. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act because that system's not working currently. The Obamacare program, all that, they're charging premiums that people can't afford, right? Let's, again, go back to what he said earlier. Let's go back to having more people be on private insurances if they so choose to. Let's stop punishing people for not having health insurance, which, again, on Obamacare,
Right.
He created that system where if
Yeah.
you didn't have health insurance and, oh, well, you can't sit here and say, well, I can't afford it because then there's Obamacare, right?
Yeah.
See, but the Democrats controlled a lot of the bodies that made laws. So when he came up with this, the Obamacare, right, and he forced everybody to have insurance, or you get penalized. As soon as Trump got in, he did away with that, right?
Right.
It's kind of one of those pick and choose your battle things, right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's episode.
Episode 10,
10.
maybe.
X.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe X.
Maybe.
X, look. I did it.
We'll see y'all next time, guys. Peace.
Later.